everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, y'all know how we do it over here. I have to get my shout outs out the way, and that's what we're going to do. We are going to run that beautiful bean footage of all the people who came through to support the read, and then we'll give individual shout outs. So let me run it, and then we'll talk on the other side. Y'all, I want to give a quick shout out to Mary Daniels. Mary, faithful, always here. One of the original readers, Mary Daniels. She is the best of the best. And Tiger Mommy, who is everything, and no, she is everything. Yes, she came through. And Susie Q is an OG squatty. I'm telling you, I bow down to Susie Q. She is everything. So thank you, Susie Q. And 08065, that's my girl. She always is coming through. She is always supporting, and it means so much. And Jennifer Clark, yes, Jennifer is one of my girls too. She is always supporting, always coming through. Just a ride or die. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for coming through. And just thank you for being here. Thank all of y'all for being here, for riding with me, always supporting, always uplifting. Y'all are the best. And that is the reason why I always say that y'all are the best community on these internet streets. And I will die on that hill. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and that's exactly where I have been. Listen, we have so much to talk about. Y'all know that, what is his name? Peter Phillips. And I am not by myself because it's not too many people know who he is. But yeah, he is Princess Anne's son. Well, he got married yesterday. And so we're going to talk about that. There was some interesting things going on over there at this wedding. It really was. It was some undercurrents, and we're going to talk about the undercurrents. I know a lot of people talk about the ceremony. No, we messy. We're going to talk about the undercurrents that was going on. And we also going to talk about this new article in the Time. Yes, it is very, very revealing, and it seems as if Charles is absolutely doing a 180 on this whole thing about covering the cost of the apartments that Beatrice and Eugenie presently occupy in Kensington Palace and St. James Palace with those broke husbands of theirs. Yes, them brokies. Y'all know them folks broke. They try to pretend like they got some money, but I believe they brokies, y'all. Because the one that married Eugenie before she married him, he was slinging pints in the local pub, right? One Jack doing that. And the one that married Beatrice, I mean, listen, this is so funny because I was watching Byron earlier, and Byron I don't know if Byron could pronounce his name or he didn't know his name. He called him Monopoly. So that's what I'm going to call it. What monopoly? A broke social climber who has had business deal after business deal after business deal go belly up. Project after project after project go bankrupt. And comes from a very cash-strapped aristocratic family from Italy. And when he met Beatrice, he dropped his fiancee that he has a child with, who he was living with, like a bad habit because he saw Beatrice as a come up. Yes, that monopoly. But I digress. Y'all, I am getting messy already. I think it might be a little early in the podcast to get that messy, but y'all know me. I love the mess. And we're going to talk about our little Lily bug. Yes, Lily. Lily has absolutely impressed a lot of people with her 5th birthday. She has. And looks like some of them are over there at the Daily Fail because they just wrote an article about the Princess Lilibet effect. Yes, they are out here acknowledging that our little princess has the shine. Yes, and we're going to talk about that. And what else are we going to talk about? Y'all know we always have some other stuff we're going to talk about. But y'all know what y'all need to do right now. Y'all need to lock in because you know I'm not going to keep you long, but I will keep you entertained. All right, y'all, we're going to start with this. And this is from the BBC News UK. It says roles turned out for Peter Phillips and NHS nurses' wedding. Yes, they were out in full effect. They really was. They was absolutely deep up in there. But we all know why. They wanted to be seen. This was all about them being seen. This was all about trying to get positive press because we all know that audit report came out just this week and it aired every one of them out as the grifters and scammers that they are. So they wanted some positive press and they all showed up. They did. Willie even drove. I mean, they were making a big deal that he could drive a car. I kid you not. With Kitty there, I mean, skinning and grinning and trying to take over the wedding, wearing a color close to white. Yes, she did. She does that every time with other women's weddings. Yeah, she always wants to make it about her. How desperate. This right here is a window into her personality because everyone knows, every woman knows you're not supposed to wear white or off-white or any kind of color that can be confused with white to another woman's wedding. But Kitty act like she doesn't know because, yeah, she was there in beige. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this, but I promise you, if she had did something like that, pulled something like that at my wedding, I would have snatched her wig. I would have. I would have said, bitch, please. Kitty's wig would be hanging from my rearview mirror. Yes, because her wig would have gotten snatched. But y'all know that that is a mean girl move. I mean, only really insecure women do some nonsense like that. She tried that same bullshit with Megan. Y'all remember? Wearing white. And I still will say that that was a white dress she wore to Megan's wedding. Trying to overshadow Megan. Well, she learned that that was not possible. Megan has too much wattage for her. Yes, Megan is a big dog. She got too much shine. You will never overshadow her. And we all know that's exactly what she tried to do. And she did it in this particular case to this woman. She did. All I can say is, Harriet, keep your head on the swivel because Mean Girl Kate will try to steal your spotlight every time. She will. I mean, how insecure. And this squatty right here agrees with me that Harriet needs to keep her head on the swivel because she know not what family she is buying into and marrying into. This squatty said Harriet marries into a family with strong JE connections. In fact, the wedding was also attended by two princesses who had lunches and vacations paid for by a serial sex trafficker of minors. And all I can say to this squatty is don't forget, the mom was also allegedly banging Diddy. But I digress. This squatty goes on to say, also in attendance were other members of the royal family who helped cover up everything. Yes, that's the family that Harriet is marrying into. Yes, a den of vipers. I mean, a nest of scorpions, lizard people. Yes, keep your head on the swivel, girl. You in danger. And people says Peter Phillips marries Harriet Sterling, becoming the first of Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren to remarry. Now, I think they phrased that because they knew no one would have known who Peter Phillips were without mentioning the Queen. And that's the reason why I think they gave that heading to this article because nobody knows who Peter Phillips is. And also, looking at this picture, I noticed something else. Look at her ring. Her ring looks almost identical to Meghan's. Now, I'm not saying other royal brides hadn't had a trilogy ring. I'm not saying the queen had a trilogy ring, right? But it had very small diamonds on either side. Meghan had sizable diamonds on either side. And that is Meghan's ring. Y'all tell me what y'all think. These people are just diabolical. They absolutely are. I mean, can you not come up with anything that Harry and Meghan hadn't done before you? I cannot. And this what he said, apparently members of the public traveled from all over the world to come to the event. Well, I thought I would help the royal propaganda by attaching a photo evidence to that statement. Yes, it looks a little sparse, doesn't it? It really does. I'm telling you, they are struggling over there. I saw this TikTok and they were talking about, you know, make a video about your struggle meal. And this is what this reminds me of. This is a struggle crowd. Yes, they have a struggle crowd. And the barrier pole is not really doing them any favors, even in this really small village that they had this wedding at. I believe they probably had it at this small church in this small village because they really thought people would turn out because stuff like this doesn't happen, in that area all the time. But still, yeah, they can't even stir up any interest, even in a very small village. I mean, the barrier pole is about one deep, isn't it? Even in a small village where people usually do not get to see anything like this, that most people that live there would never get the opportunity to see a royal. And the people said, nah, we'll pass this time. And they still did not show up. I love this for them. And this squatty said the biggest royal event of the year failed to draw more than 100 well-wishers behind the crowd barriers, and more than half of that number was the media. That is the reason why when they get out of their car, they got this really surprised look on their face. Yes, because no one showed up. Everyone was a no-show in a very small village. Oh, how embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. I have secondhand embarrassment for them. Oh my goodness. This squatty said the crowd fled the scandal-ridden royal family. This is the entire crowd for the royal wedding. The UK media constantly following and dissecting of Prince Harry and Meghan for profit has alienated the monarchy from memory. They belong to the past. Where is the lie? Where is it? A lot of what is going on here is the media's fault. And you marry that with the treachery of that family, that is a recipe for a dying monarchy. And that's exactly what is happening to that family over there. People don't want to stand behind barriers to see liars, grifters, and thieves. And that's exactly what that family is. Like I said, I love it for them. And this squatty was talking about the double standard. And it was on full display in this wedding because we know they had all kind of rules for Megan, but it seems like all those rules have come out of the window since Megan left that family. This squatty says for a divorcee, a veil was thought to be out of the question, argued palace aides about Megan's wedding dress back in 2018. Fast forward to 2026, Peter's new bride, a divorcee with a teenage daughter, Harriet looked rather angelic in a white gown and white veil. Palace aides fond. Uh-huh. Yeah, Megan didn't need a veil because she was a divorcee and she shouldn't wear white. But fast forward to 2026, oh, all of that is fine. It is all copacetic at this point. And this squatty goes on to say this was never about protocol. It has always been and will continue to be about what is allowed and acceptable for a biracial woman and a white one. We are so not a racist family, my arse. Uh-huh, uh-huh. And I do believe and acknowledge that racism is a reason for the double standard when it comes to Megan. But a lot of this is about Megan's excellence and that family's jealousy of Megan's excellence. They knew who Megan was. They knew who was coming into that family. They knew that Megan was absolutely head, shoulders, knees, and toes above all of them. Intellectually, they're not in the same league as Megan, and they know that. And they did not want other people to know that. They know that they're mediocre, but they don't want other people to know that they're mediocre. And they don't want anybody to have more shine and popularity than they do. Well, you just saw what Kate did at another woman's wedding. So, can you imagine Megan in all her excellence and shine being able to coexist with this mediocre of a royal family? These cold blooded lizard people? It was never possible. It could have never happened. It would have never happened because they would not allow it. We all know that excellence cannot exist in the presence of mediocrity. It just can't. And that family is a perfect example of that. I'm just saying. And let's get into a little tea. This squatty is writing about Harriet's tiara. She did not get a tiara from the royal family. She had to buy or borrow. She had to rent or borrow a tiara. What do y'all think about that? This squatty said she rented or borrowed the tiara from the Pragnell family. They couldn't lend her one of their own. Weird as F. What do y'all think? I'm with this squatty. That's weird as F. All those tiaras, they could not lend her a tiara. And let's not forget, Peter Phillips' mother is the sister to the current monarch. He is the current monarch's nephew. And they would not loan his bride a tiara? That is weird as F. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. This squatty said, wait, so Anne, as her new mother-in-law, didn't loan one from her collection? Yes, because we know Anne has a tiara. At least I think she does. Are the tiaras that Anne be wearing to the state dinners and all these other events, are they not hers? I know Sophie. Sophie has a aquamarine one that she wears. And I think that's the only one that they have. And she wears that one all the time. And sometimes she gets a loan tiara from the Crown Jewels. Now, is these tiaras that Anne wears on these different occasions, are they loaned from the Crown Jewels? Just a question. If anybody knows, put it in the comments because I don't know. But they did not loan Harriet one. What y'all think about that? That is very, very strange and petty because we all know that it is still 80 million pounds worth of jewelry has come up missing and nobody talks about it, and it seems like nobody is looking for it. And the last people who had their fingerprints on it was Kitty and the horse. Yes, so you can't lend Harriet a tiara, but the horse and Kitty can absolutely get away with, I don't know what they're getting away with, but the jury, it came up missing. Now you can fill in the blank on what you think happened to it. But I know what I think. But yeah, that's why I say it's very, very interesting and very, very lowbrow that they did not loan her a tiara. And then turn around and all show up to her wedding for the PR. That family. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I'm going to show y'all some sights and scenes from the wedding. This is Harriet. I mean, looking lovely. She really does. And her bridesmaids. Now, a lot of squatties was commenting on how the bridesmaids did not have on tights. We all know that that was a big issue in Megan's wedding. Seemed like it's no issue in this wedding. I'm just saying, beautiful bride. And here they are coming out of the church. It was raining. Yes, they had a rainy day, but it was really, really pretty. And here's some of the guests. I was watching Byron today, and he was talking about this lady in the blue. I mean, he was clowning her. I was so tickled. I got so tickled at Byron. To me, she looks like a cartoon character. She absolutely does. She looks like, what is it, Olive Oil from the Popeye movie? That's who she looks like to me. But yeah, it was not the best of days. It was raining. And this is another couple. Yep. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself. And yeah, this is the cream of society over there. Okay. And this is a repost. And this squatty posted these very same pictures and said, ha 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 ha. The glamorous guests that Prince Harry and Meghan should be dying of jealousy are arriving, ha 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 ha, at the new wedding of another grifter, Peter Phillips. Ha 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 ha. This is going to be so much fun. Yeah, and this squatty that reposted this said the same thing happened at Hugh Grosvenor's wedding. The women who were pictured looked absolutely atrocious. Same with these women. Status clearly doesn't buy you any level of fashion sense. Makes so much sense why so many people look down on Megan. She is gorgeous, stylish, and graceful. Exactly. Megan came in there and showed everybody what having a real fashion sense looked like. I'm just saying. And Beatrice and Eugenie was there. This squatty posted about it and said Princess Beatrice and Eugenie, close friends of children, sex trafficker J.E. and renowned grifters arrived with their broke husbands. Laugh out loud. I don't have nothing to add to that. This squatty is absolutely knocking me out. And of course, they put on a big performance. This whole kumbaya moment of the family coming together. We love each other, and we know that these are nothing but scorpions that sting each other. And what I'm talking about is it looks like Willie and Kitty is just kissing on Beatrice and Eugenie. Yeah, we believe that. No, because Willie's camp has been planning stories all week about Beatrice and Eugenie, saying that he was going to look at Crown property and see who gets it and who doesn't, if they're working royals or not, and how he was going to be, I don't know, more selective in the process, granting people housing on the royal estates. And we know these planning of stories are coming out because of what came out of that audit report about Beatrice and Eugenie having apartments at St. James Palace and Kensington Palace for free, not paying anything, not even a peppercorn. And because this is not going down well with the tax-paying public, Willie is out there playing stories like, when I become king, I'm not going to be like Pa and let everyone and their mama stay on crown property. Yes, trying to save his own batoot. So yeah, he been planning stories all over the rags and then show up at the wedding and kiss him in the mouth. And we're supposed to believe that? Absolutely not. This squatty said Prince William Parker Bowes kissing one of the J.E. sisters, Princess Beatrice, seeing how there is no problem if you take money from a children sex trafficker who also paid for your 18th birthday party, as long as you play the family PR game. And that right there is what they are playing. They're playing the PR game. All of this was choreographed way ahead of time. They've been talking back and forth, and this is what they came up with. Do you think that just it was happenstance that Willie came over there and kissed Beatrice and Eugenie? Absolutely not. Nothing happens spontaneous when it comes to that family. Everything is performative. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I don't believe it for a second. This squatty said UK tabloids screamed for weeks William banned Beatrice and Eugenie to flex his future king power. Reality, both York sisters showed up today with their husbands at cousin Peter Phillips' wedding, full family reunion. All that York banishing drama, pure palace PR nonsense. A fake soap opera to protect the royal grifting brand from Andrew's mess. British media does not report the news. They are the royal family's propaganda arm. Tiaras and taxpayer scams. Where is the lie? Where is it? I said from the beginning, I don't believe none of it. This what he said, the Judas kiss. I wouldn't trust Bully Boy's motives, as tomorrow he will instruct his slaves at KP to plant some lies in the rags to deflect from this picture. Y'all know he did the same thing when he was caught talking to Andrew at the Duchess of Kent's funeral. Y'all remember that? And the very next day, they were out there planting stories about how he was just appalled by Andrew. I'm telling you, I agree with this squatty. And this other squatty said William is literally actively briefing against his cousins and then in public giving them a double kiss. He's literally demonic. Yes, he absolutely is. But that whole family is. It is a pantomime. They all hate one another and they all pretend like they're a family. They're not a real family. They are a den of scorpions that live to do nothing but sting one another. And they are lizard people. And this squatty posted about Zara and her meathead husband. You know, the one that's dead from the neck up. Yes, that one. They were out kissing Beatrice and Eugenie as well. They were part of the pantomime that they were putting on for the British taxpayers at this wedding. This squatty said, "It's grifters gathering. Ha 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 ha." Zara and Mike Tyndall kissing Beatrice and Eugenie and their husband. They need to support each other in their endless grifting scheme. Notice how taking money from JE means nothing for these people. They would continue to be completely unapologetic for anything they have done, especially since none of them actually works. Where is the lie? I mean, shameful. Beatrice and Eugenie fits right in with the rest of them. Zara and her meathead husband, he is a bona fide racist. I mean, he wears the red hat. So all of them are just horrible, horrible people. All of them. So what difference does it make to this family? They could care less. All of them are absolutely horrible, hideous individuals with no character or shame. They all was hanging out with Diddy and J.E. You know, they say that Sarah Ferguson banged Diddy, and that's not me saying that. They said that in the Telegraph. And it is also being said that Diddy wanted Beatrice and Eugenie. That is the word on the curb. I cannot wait. I hope we have the opportunity to find out exactly what has gone on here because it's still 4 million pages of the JE files that has not been released. And it's my belief that that family over there across the pond, they are up to their necks in all of this pedo stuff that went on with JE and on that island. And also, let's not forget that ranch that he had over there. Was it in New Mexico? Yeah. They say, it is absolutely earth shattering. I can't wait. I hope it happens. And Princess Anne's ex, he was there. Hello Magazine says Princess Anne came face to face with her ex-husband, Mark Phillips, at son Peter Phillips' wedding. Yes, he was there. And this squatty that posted about it said, "I'm sure hard-faced Anne coped. Mark was outed as fathering another daughter in New Zealand." I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But I did know from the Crown that Anne and he kind of had an open marriage because both of them was, getting it in with other people. I'll put it that way. And this squatty went on to say, but let's be honest, their marriage failed because both parties were putting it about. It's a favorite pastime. But Megan. Exactly. Megan is the most virtuous person to ever be a member of that family, and that includes the Queen. the proper queen, because we all know it has recently came out that she was getting it in with her racehorse manager. Yes, and that Andrew may be a product of the affair that the queen had with this man. Let's not even talk about the behavior of Princess Anne. And we all know Kitty ran the honeypot. And woo, the bed hopper. And not to even speak of Anne, because they said she was spreading it wide with Sir Timothy before she was divorced from Mark Phillips. And how these people look at other people with a straight face and feel like somehow they're better than. It is a classic exercise in delusion. It has to be. But yet and still, but Megan. And Kate's old beau, he was at the wedding as well. This squatty said on the left, Kate Middleton's ex-boyfriend, on the right, her husband. I don't like to compare, but homegirl fumbled her whole life. When money and social status are more important, that's what you get. Yeah, he looked good now. He looks absolutely good. Now, I don't know if he's older than Willie, but I think he may be older than Willie. And Willie looks like his grandpa. I cannot. And this is what he said. Kate chose royalty, fame, and money. Now the scandal-laden monarchy is now infamous. And Kate is only known for being lazy. And the heir she chose, Willie, has devolved into a rageful, frumpy mess. All I can say is, where's the lie? Where is it? And she has a scar upside her head to prove everything that this squatty said is true. Y'all, I'm getting too messy. And y'all, look at this. The wife of Kate's ex was single white femaling her. I kid you not. Look at this. It says Kate wore this dress in 2023. Kate's ex-wife wore it yesterday at the wedding. The royal adjacent dating pool and fashion pool appears to be equally shallow. Do y'all think she was trolling Kate? I don't know, but I tell you what, she looks so much better in it. I mean, Kate's ex-wife, she looks so much better. She looks like she is a actual human being. Kate looked like somebody broke a twig and stuck it in a dress and put her head on top of it. Look at the two women in comparison. I mean, it's day and night, isn't it? Her ex's wife looks like a real live woman. Like I said, Kate looks like a stick figure. She does. Do y'all think that she was trolling Kate? Y'all tell me in the comments. What y'all think going on here? Is it a thing over there in the UK? Or is it just among the aristocratic circles that women do stuff like this? I know in aristocratic circles they invite their exes to their wedding and all kinds of nonsense like that. That over here would get you a butt whooping. But I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments because it's strange to me. And this squatty posted about David Lingley. Is he Princess Margaret's son? Or I think he is. Y'all tell me in the comments if I'm right. It says David Lingley looks so much like his cousin King Charles. Anyone remember David Lingley allegedly filmed having gay sex with two servants and snorting the coca, and had a giant non-disclosure deal with all the British press, but had to be exposed when rumors got so big in the royal threads that it was Charles. Yet all these people said Meghan was beneath them. Laugh out loud. Squatties are on these internet streets exposing people and reaching all the way back to what's love got to do with it and getting all of the dirt. Who knew? I didn't know about this. If you knew about it, put it in the comments. Yeah, I love squatties. I do. I love squatties. Tell me what you think about David Langley. Who knew? I didn't know, but I know now, and I will use it over and over and over again against this family. Yes, I'll hang it around their necks. How dare you? How dare you think that you are somehow better than Megan? I cannot. And I'm gonna put this up. This was in Feminagra, and they made everything about Harry and Meghan when it came to this wedding. But we all know why. Because it was no interest there. They had to drum up some interest. And when that family wants to drum up interest, what do? They bring up Harry and Meghan. They plant stories about Harry and Meghan not being invited. They plant stories about Harry and Meghan might come. I mean, you name it. I have saw stories from every angle, and they did everything that they could to connect Harry and Meghan to this story. Feminagra said Peter Phillips got married, but the press could only talk about Harry and Meghan. Yes, I have saw so many panel discussions about Harry and Meghan. Why won't they come? They should come. They should not come. Do you think they're going to come? And it's just on and on like hot butter on popcorn. And this squatty said it's always the same thing. Queen Elizabeth II dies. When will Harry and Meghan be in the UK? Kate and Charles are sick. Did Harry and Meghan wish them well? Royal dude gets married. Harry and Meghan were not invited. Harry and Meghan are literally the backbone of the royal family's relevance. Where is the lie? Because anytime anything happens, Harry and Meghan is centered by that media over there. It is all about Harry and Meghan. If they're coming, if they're not coming, if they said something, if they didn't say something, it doesn't matter. It's Harry and Meghan 24/7, 365 days for those people over there. And Harry and Meghan are 5,000 miles away minding their business and never giving that family or that media any thought. But yet and still, they can't keep Harry and Meghan's name out of their mouths. The obsession, it should be studied. And this squatty said the British press and royalists making every birthday, wedding, and funeral about Harry and Meghan will always make me chuckle a bit. Those poor people will forever be in their shadows. Now, this is just my opinion, but I believe that that family over there has a love-hate relationship with Harry and Meghan's shadow. They love the fact that Harry and Meghan's name brings the eyeballs. All they have to do is say Harry and Meghan's name in an interview, plant Harry and Meghan's name in a story, and they know that the eyeballs will come. But they also hate it because they have to do that in order to get attention. Y'all remember when Willie sit down for an interview and he dropped Harry's name? And so did that meathead husband of Zara, Mike Tyndall, trying to bring some eyeballs to that dying podcast that he has over there across the pond. He dropped Harry's name. They do that in order to get attention, but they hate Harry and Meghan because they have to do it for attention. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think about my theory, but I really believe it's a love hate kind of thing for them. I'm just saying. And I am going to end our conversation about this wedding with this last post because I'm telling you, this squatty just absolutely says everything that needs to be said. This is what he said. Thieving bastards will put this down as a work day. Not calling them thieving bastards. I cannot. Squatties were on one today. Were they not? They were. And changing topics, this was in the Sunday Time, and it is Charles pretty much putting out there that he is going to do a 180 when it comes to Beatrice and Eugenie. That is the reason why they were giving them the kiss of death. Y'all know that they did that in The Godfather. They would always kiss the person in the mouth that they were getting ready to kill. Now, I'm not saying Charles is getting ready to kill Beatrice and Eugenie. And I'm not saying Willie is getting ready to kill Beatrice and Eugenie. But they're getting ready to kill that lease, yes, of those two apartments. That's exactly what is happening here. They are trying to save themselves because they know that the audit report did not go down well with the British tax-paying public. This is the title of the article. It says King Charles to review Beatrice and Eugenie's palace rent deals. Yes, they out of there. They might as well go home after this wedding and start to pack their things because it's only a matter of time that they are going to have to get a U-Haul. That's what we get over here when we move because Charles is absolutely going to send them packing. And that is what Beatrice and Eugenie needs to be doing. They need to be packing because Charles is going to send them packing. And I'm going to read a little of this article. It was written by Kate Manzi, and it says the king will review the rental agreements of Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie within the coming year. The Times understands. And what this tells me is that Beatrice and Eugenie is the ones going under the bus. Not Edward, not Sophie, not all the other royals who have grace and favored housing. No, they're not talking about them. They're just talking about Beatrice and Eugenie. Let's not forget Sophie and Edward has a 120 room house. No, a mansion, Bagshot Park. And they pay a peppercorn rent and then lease out the stables for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But they don't want to talk about that. They just want to talk about the two apartments that Beatrice and Eugenie has. Something to tamp down the public in order for them to continue the grift. This is Charles doing just enough to not do very much. He doesn't want to solve this whole problem. He wants people to stop talking about it and to think somehow he's doing something about it until he absolutely sends Sophie and Edward packing out of that 120 room house, well, mansion. Then I'll say Charles is trying to do something. Edward and Sophie live in that 120 room mansion by themselves because y'all know their son is boarding and their daughter is in college. Two people in a 120 room mansion. Stop it. And you want to kick out Beatrice and Eugenie. They are just trying to feed the wolves just enough to keep them from eating them. This is all this is about. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I think nothing of it. And this squatty said, damn, not sure if Prince Harry is hearing the financial audit news for the first time like the rest of us, but days like today I sympathize. His mother was really the only parent who loved him. I don't know how much more evidence the public needs. Exactly. Exactly. Because this whole national audit report, woo, it has been damning. It has shown these people to be the grifters and scammers that they are, and the lizard people, the uncaring people that they are. To treat Harry and Meghan the way they treated Harry and Meghan, and in the background doing all of this low down, dirty shite. I'm telling you, Diana was the only one in that family that loved him. That is the reason why I just felt, ooh, I feel so happy and just so overjoyed that Harry found his way. He found his way, and now he has the best life of all of them. It is a blessing. It is a blessing from above that Harry was able to make it through. But he did, and he found Meghan. Thank God. And this squatty said, it's funny watching the royal family be exposed for the grifters and the liars that they are. Sooner or later, their lies have continued to be exposed. Remember when they called Prince Harry a liar only for everything he said to be true? He was actually too nice. Where is the lie? Where is it? And I remember back when Spare came out, all of the flying monkeys, all of the hag dragons, all of the hate peddlers. I'm telling you, they all was out in force, really pushing the narrative that Harry was a liar. Well, who is the liar now? Who has been exposed? I'll tell you who's been exposed, that family and all the hate hustlers. Yes, all of them have been exposed for the liars, the scammers, the grifters that they are. And I am loving it. It is absolutely the best time ever to be a squatty. All right, y'all. I want to talk about our little Lily. Yes, this was in the fail. And it's an article about Lily and the Lilibet effect. The title of the article is The Lilibet Effect, Princess's 320-pound sundress that she wore in her birthday portrait sells out as her outfit sparks surge in demands for the brand. Yes, give our little princess her respect, because just like her mama and her daddy, well, should I say her papa, they all have the shine. They do. And people are drawn to them. And everything they touch turns to gold. And now even the fail has to come around and just absolutely acknowledge that Lily has the shine. So all I can say, Daily Fail, is bow down to our little Lilibet, because Lilibet is a fashion diva. And as she gets older, she is going to be a fashion phenom. So I love it. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the Daily Mail having to bow down to our little princess. I'm loving it. And this squatty said, now we have the Lilibet effect. Let the meltdowns commence from all the so-called royalists who weirdly seem to have a grudge against a beautiful little princess who is living her best life in Montecito. Yes. They absolutely melt down every time Lily takes the stage. Why? Because she is so beautiful. She inherited her shine from her mama and her papa and her grandmothers. Yes, Lily is that girl. She is. Lily is adorable. This last picture of her on her 5th birthday took them out. And when I say them, I'm talking about the haters and the hags. Woo! Swatties are saying she looks like a fairy. She is adorable. And I'm going to put this up, and this comes by way of proud supporter of the Sussex family. And look what she did. She made Lily into a fairy. Oh my goodness. It is so angelic, is it not? And this is what she wrote. She said, I just seen a post about someone saying Lilibet looked like a fairy. In Montecito Garden Fair, little Lilibet danced there. Among the blooms and the butterflies bright, she sparkles softly in the light, a fairy child with joy to share, bringing a little magic everywhere. Oh my goodness. I am loving it. I am loving it. This is so beautiful, proud supporter of the Sussex family. You did a great job. All right, y'all. Y'all know I always enjoy my time with y'all. And I just want to put out there, if you want to support the channel, it is so many ways to do so. You can support me right here on the YouTube. My super thanks button is back, and the channel member button is back if you want to be a part of the reading club. You also can go over to Patreon. The reading club is over there. I post a lot over there, a lot of funny stuff over there. And when I can't put stuff in my podcast because, YouTube would try to ding me, I put it over on Patreon. So that is such a good tool. So if you hadn't joined, go over there and join. It is free, but if you want to be a part of the reading club or support, you also have the option to do that as well. You can go to buy me a coffee. It is just so many ways. You can do Cash App, you can do PayPal. It is so many ways, and that is in my bio. But y'all are so great and so sweet, and I thank you so very much. And I can't wait for us to talk again very soon. Also, if you have the hype button, don't forget to hype up the podcast. Yes, hype your girl up. Hype it up. Hype it up. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.